Social justice system, special snowflake offenses are considered especially heinous. On the internet, dedicated skeptics who investigate these vicious crimes are members of an elite squad known as the Special Snowflake Unit. These are their stories.
Great show. Yep.
Awesome. And with us remain Nathan Cameron, Tetris Freak, Slowpoke Garcia, Mr. Foxlot, who's also our call screener today, Gabby D. Wiz, who is with us today, Hellraiser Zaylon, Miss Valkyrie, Gray Apathy, Dave Youngson, Chris Williamson, Riker the Malamute, Yoko, not Ono, Jess Yoko, Lone Furry, and Night Treasure. K-Box 3053.
I'm wondering when that joke's gonna get old.
Never.
I know a few Yokos. I can never do that.
All right. So we also are doing a raffle today. So for every $2 donated through Super Chats or Streamlabs, you get one ticket in the raffle. And the raffle, if we get enough tickets throughout the show, will be done at the end of the show. If there's not enough tickets purchased, then we will do it at the next show. But we are currently raffling off a book from Dreamkeepers.
We've already got a surprise, motherfucker. From Slowpoke Garcia, he donates $2. He says, signs... Sings. Oh, he sings it. I don't even
sing
know.
It, Clyde.
I don't
sing
even
know.
To what tune?
I don't know. Just you play the butt trumpet and the douche flute, so you should be able to sing this with no problem.
Yeah, I should be able to. Watch me fail. He says, I'm the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of Tish comes from my chocolate starfish.
What the
How about some scat, you little twat? All right. Thanks for the money, man.
Thank you for the donation, you degenerate fuck.
Right? Thank you, though. So that's an example of one ticket into the raffle. Also, if you don't win the raffle, there is a link to a Dreamkeeper store where if you use the code DIRE, you can get 5% off any purchases of their books there.
Yeah, right down in the doobly-doo.
The doobly-doodle.
Also, this is a call-in show, so it's an interactive. You'll be able to join us on the show today if you call in. And here is Mr. Foxlot to explain how to do... Oop, put in the wrong room. Oops.
That's because we're all in stream waiting room.
Are we?
Yeah, we are. Let's move after this. Foxlot, can you explain how to join the show?
I sure can. All right, so if you guys have a story, topic, or disagreement, go ahead and hop in the Discord. There's a link down below, and you can talk to me, Mr. Foxlot, and I will get you set up to talk to the team.
Thank you very much.
Super sweet.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Let's all get in the stream.
Yeah, let's quit being queer and go over this. Wow.
All right.
That's a pretty funny fail there.
Awesome.
Let's move on to our first story.
Let's do it.
What? I gotta read now? What the hell? Hold on a second.
To read.
I wasn't even looking at the script.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Well, I'll give you a moment. You'll get a moment here. We got a surprise motherfucker from Slowpoke Garcia for $2. He says, call me degenerate, fuck you, fuck all you want. 1, at least I'm not a weeb, and 2, I'm dancing I'm dancing for a shower of pennies. All right.
Whoa, Mr. Slowpoke saying that he's not a weeb with his anime avatar on freaking Discord. Gotcha.
Questionable.
Yeah. Press X to doubt. Yes. Big X. X in chat for Slowpoke. Senator Kamala Harris, a.k.a. Camel Toe Harris, falsely claims that the unemployment rate is low because people work multiple jobs. Seems like a slightly fuzzy connection.
Oh my god, that was the title on the thing. I can't help that. Camel toe hair is a fuzzy.
Imagine
connection.
camel toe
Oh my
hair is
God.
having a fuzzy connection.
Yeah, that's how it was presented.
Yes. Well, anyway, it turns out that Democrat Senator Kamala Harris of California doesn't understand unemployment, or she's lying to try to downplay one of Trump's biggest accomplishments. She's either stupid, a liar, or both, and we'll let you guys decide.
Recently, Kamala Harris.
Sorry.
Recently, Kamala Harris has said multiple variations of the statement, let's speak truth, that in this country right now, this economy is not working for working people.
You can't say speak truth and then lie.
Right?
I know, right?
You can, apparently. She just did. Let's speak truth. Let's speak truth that in this country right now, this economy is not working for working people. The economy is doing great. This economy is actually doing great. How can that be? Well, look at the unemployment numbers. Yeah, okay. People are working. They're working 2 or 3 jobs to pay their bills.
Motherfucker.
That's bullshit. Good Lord.
This economy's not working for working people. Except more people are working. What the? So dumb. We got a surprise motherfucker from Slowpoke Garcia. He donates $2. He says, "Continue singing." Oh my god, do I have to do this?
Yes.
Do you really? Oh my god. Do you really think you'll survive down here? You don't seem to realize what creek you're in. Sweet corn is the only thing that makes it through my rear.
Oh, God.
How do you think I keep this lovely grin? Gleam.
Oh.
Have some more caviar, he says at the end.
Oh my god.
Good Lord.
Slowpoke, what are you on tonight?
He's worse than usual.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, the economy's doing great. How can that be? Well, look at the employment numbers. Yeah, okay. People are working. They're working 2, 3, or 3 jobs to pay their bills. That's pretty ridiculous. It's not. That does not affect the unemployment numbers.
Not at all. And you know, if people want to work 2 or 3 jobs, they're not just doing that to pay the bills. If they're working 2 or 3 jobs and then they're only paying the bills, then they're living in California or New York. You know what I mean? People work hard to move ahead. Why are they acting like hard work is a bad thing? I don't understand. But in any case, Kamala Harris is campaigning for president, And because the Democratic Party doesn't have a coherent platform of what they're standing for, all she can do is try to diminish what Trump has accomplished. By far, Trump's greatest accomplishment has been the economy. So Camel Toe Harris is trying to say that even though Trump has lowered the unemployment rate far below what Democrats said was possible. Yeah.
Obama said that the high unemployment rates was the new normal, but Trump has been able to drop the unemployment by unemployment to 4% and at one point 3.9%. This is a huge accomplishment that translates to a very real improvement in the lives in people's lives. But Kamala would like us to believe it was meaningless.
I would like to point out that in chat, Wade the Wilson is telling us that shit song that Clyde is having to recite is from Conker's Bad Fur Day. We did not realize that, Wade.
Nope.
And I don't even know what Bad Fur Day is. That's how connected I am to the world.
Wasn't that a video?
But
game?
anyway, I guess
What?
it is.
I have no idea. I've never heard of it.
It's a musical boss fight against sentient singing shit while you throw toilet paper rolls at them.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're literally shit posting. All right. Well, you know,
Don't let your memes be dreams.
that's fine. You just keep it coming, buddy. She's implying that unemployment is low because there's a lot or a greater number of people working more jobs. She's saying that the people do not have quality employment, but this is a completely false statement.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the number of people working multiple jobs was at around 6.2% in 1996 and has been declining steadily since then. It was about 5.2% during the period between 2006 and 2009, and this year the rate is between 4.9 and 5%. So during Trump's first 2 years, the number of people holding multiple jobs has gone down, while at the same time, more people are employed overall.
Yeah, the number of people holding multiple full-time jobs is reported as being only 331,000 out of the 156 million who are employed. For perspective, Trump's economy has added more jobs in a single month than there are people working multiple full-time jobs. Wow.
Exactly. So her claim that there's this huge epidemic of people working multiple full-time jobs, it doesn't exist. It's not. It's only 331,000 out of 156 million people. The vast majority of the jobs added are full-time jobs, and they have had a marked improvement to the economy and to people's lives. And she's trying to make us believe it's meaningless, trying to diminish what Trump has accomplished here, but she's lying or extremely dumb.
Yeah, the lady who doesn't have a real job.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker. This is Slowpoke Garcia. Surprise, surprise. With another $2. Says, now I'm really getting rather mad. You're like a squiggly, tiggly, shitty little tag nut. Tag nut? Okay.
It's more of the lyrics of the song, I'm betting.
Yeah, once I've knocked you out with my blab, I'm going to take your head and ram it up my... Oh, my... What? Your butt? Yes, my butt.
Take
What?
my head and ram it up your butt? That's a rather odd threat.
Ew, my butt.
Or the worst.
Yeah,
worst
my
come
butt.
online ever.
Jeez Louise.
If I was single, that would be my Tinder profile.
Wow. So now Kamala may just be wrong and not know what she's talking about. Much like AOC, who claimed that people having multiple jobs artificially lowers the unemployment rate. Both statements are stupid, and both are attempts to lessen Trump's accomplishments.
Well, you do have another possibility, Dyer, and that's that Camel Toe Harris does know that people are working multiple jobs, and that has not increased as unemployment's decreased. Certainly, the Democrats didn't say that was the reason for Obama's lower unemployment during his time. It's possible that Camilla is lying to us and thinks that most of us will just believe her, or most of her supporters perhaps will just believe her, because we don't know better. It's one or the other. She's either stupid or a liar, or perhaps she's both.
That's kind of like the Democratic just platform, right? spout like non-facts as like facts. Just garbage, and just hope it sticks. Throw enough shit at the wall, something will stick, right?
Yeah, it's kind of funny to tell people. It's like the vast majority of Americans have just paid less in their taxes or got bigger returns. A lot more people are now employed, or know people who are now employed who weren't. So most Americans have seen an improvement to their lives. And then you have Kamala Harris here saying, no, it's all your imagination. And like people are going to hear what she's saying is like, nah, you sound like a liar, because that doesn't jive with reality.
Plus, she said this after AOC made her stupid claim and got made fun of for it. It's not like she's I think she's dumb. Really.
It's possible. So I'm going with liar. You're going with she's stupid. Vlad, what's your opinion?
I'm going with liar. Like just bald-faced liar. I mean, it's just you say anything contrary to anything good that Trump's done, right? So anything that Trump could possibly get credit for, like, economic boom, more jobs in the marketplace, more people being employed, those are all good things, right? So you just be a contrarian. Even if it's a bold-faced lie.
I think the Democrats have to be a contrarian on this topic, because if you remember correctly, all the economic policies that Trump has managed to pass that has resulted in this economic boom and the more people keeping more of their own money, this is stuff that the Democrats fought against every step of the way.
Mm-hmm. And they all said that it wouldn't lead to more jobs, and it did. Right. And, it's like the whole tax revenue thing. You lower taxes and you get more revenue in.
Yeah.
But
lower regulation.
Gabby, what do you think? Is she a liar? Stupid? Both?
I think both.
Oh,
that's pretty
pretty Switzerland of you.
I'm charitable that way.
Yeah, that's so nice of you. Don't assume the best people.
You and your fucking holy cheese.
Glass is half full kind of gal.
It's floor polish and a dessert topping. It can be both.
See, Vince gets it. He gets it.
Yeah. So if they were to say, yeah, Trump's policies have been successful and have been good for the economy, then they have to simultaneously accept that they were wrong and the policies that they've been resisting were actually good. And they can't do that. So they have to. It has to be a failure. Otherwise, there's no reason for anyone to vote for them again, because they have no platform. The only thing they're running on is Orange Man Bad.
This kind of throws me into a whole thing that I watched the other day with Tucker, and he was actually, and it kind of, it's the reason why they're going so far left, I think, is they're going for broke. They're rolling the dice. They're putting it all on one roll right now, going this far. Oh, we have a super chat from Maury Main for $5. I had to kiss $700 goodbye for my tax return due to the mandate. 2018, I didn't have health insurance. Too poor.
That's shit.
That is shit. And I actually had to pay that mandate too 1 year, Ori. So I'm with you. The Discord link.
So you get no health insurance and you have to pay a tax for not having health insurance?
Yeah. Yeah, you get penalized for it.
Great system. Holy crap.
Right? Isn't that cool? Yeah, but it was for the poor, though. You don't get it, Clyde. You're not getting it.
Guess not. I just wait in line.
We have a comment in chat that's saying that
I got the link already.
Okay. Alrighty. It actually reminds me that like I said, they're throwing the dice. They're going for broke, and what they're trying to do, and it has to do. It kind of links in with the immigration thing. With that 22 million illegal alien count, with the most recent studies and whatnot and surveys, they're just basically hinging this all on being crazy as hell and all the way to the left, and they're trying to replace the poor American voter that's usually voted Democrat. You know what I mean? As soon as they get in power, Democrats will never be out of power. Because what was it like the last presidential election was, the greatest margin of victory was 17 million, right? If you got 22 million new voters into the system, and most of them first-time voters immigrants will be voting Democrat. That's terrifying. Yeah, I think that's what they're banking on. I think that they're saying all these crazy things because, they're not aiming for the centrists anymore. They're aiming for their far left, and they're aiming with illegal voters. They don't care.
And that's not a conspiracy.
Oh, sorry, but I was going to say, I'm going to have to actually now side with Gabby on that because I think, it's bald-faced lies what she's saying right now, but she's so stupid, Kamala Harris, that she's lying about this. And then if she ever gets voted in, she's so stupid that she'll try to implement the thing that's going to fail the policies they're actually, you know what I mean? Like a failure on the policies that have been put into place by Trump.
And you were saying, Dyer?
So it's not conspiracy because you'll see that there's Democrat states like California that are legitimately pushing to allow illegal immigrants to be able to vote, as well as they've always been already pushing for citizenship for them, which is always another avenue to let them vote.
Yeah, they're trying to legalize it, and since they're kind of like failing at that legalization method, they're going for they're trying to say, hey, well, let them vote anyway. They're living here.
And you can't. It's not really the immigrants' fault. The way they're being brought in here, that they are voting Democrat. And hear me out. The Democrats are intentionally bringing in a lot of people who are going to immediately become wards of the state. I mean, they're coming here with no wealth, no education, and often no trade skills. So they are going to work the non-skilled labor jobs or simply be dependent on the state to take care of them. And because people in that position are more likely to need government handouts, they're going to vote for the party that's promising more government handouts.
And isn't one of the you're right. You're exactly right. And but also, isn't the people that are working 2 and 3 jobs, aren't they doing those really low paying jobs? Aren't they doing the jobs that the Democrats have said that Americans aren't willing to do? Aren't they?
You know why those jobs are low paying as well? Not only because of the low skill required, but also because there's a glut of laborers. When you have lots and lots of supply of workers, then there's less demand for them, which means you can pay the minimum.
Mm-hmm. I've been doing the politics thing with you for over about a year now, and it just comes down to it that more and more of these stories, even though they don't seem related, a lot of them just link back to the immigration problem. This kind of does, I think. But
yeah, I agree. And going back to what you were saying before about pulling people in for the sake of having voters, a voter block. This is what Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson were arguing against unfettered democracy. Democracy is supposed to just be an institution for electing officials, not for making choices in our society. That's not how it works. Because their big argument was, if you had unfettered democracy, then it would be 51% of the population taking away all the property of 49%. You know what I mean?
Well, it's the tyranny of the majority.
Yeah,
it's the tyranny of the that's exactly what that's why we're not a democracy, and that's why I get shit on people from Twitter whenever, because how many people always say, we live in a democracy?
No, we don't.
Well, not a pure democracy, but a representative democracy.
We live in a republic. Yeah, the republic
constitutional republic.
A constitutional republic that uses a democratic selection to elect its officials. Yeah. That's what it is. The democracy thing, we're not a democracy.
But then officials don't even have the power to yield to make rules. You know what I mean? They have to go through a particular set of a system in order to enact laws. You can't just willy-nilly just make rules. It's just not how it works.
Yeah. There's no one official in the U.S. government that has unfettered power. Every piece of government has checks on it, has rules on it. that affect the others. We got a super chat for $10 from Ori Main saying, people need to realize Trump's wall does not equal attack on Titan. Attack on Titan. Funny reference. If you care about the real poor in this country, lack of border security will only hurt them even. It's absolutely true. It hurts them on multiple different fronts. It hurts them because you're allowing not every illegal immigrant is, other than being here illegally, a criminal. So they're not all violent criminals, but some of them are, and you're not stopping the ones that are because of lack of border security. You're also, so you have a actual physical threat of criminals. You have then the threat to their economy, their way of life, because now you have going to their neighborhoods a lot of people who are now wards of the state. You have people who are competing for their jobs, so it's now harder to get jobs in their communities. You have people using up the local services that require tax money, and then so when the cost of services go up, the cost of taxes will then of course have to go up to meet it. It's going to affect, there's currently $180 billion cost that is known going to that each year due to illegal immigration. That's a huge cost for illegal immigration.
Well, and just look at the lifestyle of a person who lives under the table, right? And an illegal immigrant, say he has no ill will, but only broke the law in the sense that they came over illegally and they didn't go through the proper channels, right? Well, now they're subject to the whims of some unsavory characters. They can't get a job unless they work under the table, which I'd say that people who hire people under the table are unsavory characters.
And plus, they're unprotected.
Well, that's it. I was going to say that too. That they're unprotected. They can't go to the police if they have a dispute with somebody. If somebody's terrorizing them, like is this what you want in society, or would you rather people just be legal immigrants?
Yep. And then we have the drug problem. So obviously, when you have an open border, you have drugs coming across that border that then is really bad for your community. So the point is, illegal immigration is bad for, legal Americans or citizens, as well as it's bad for the immigrants themselves. We've been over a million times, but what the stats, 80% of women who come across the border illegally are getting raped or assaulted along the way. I mean, you shouldn't be encouraging this kind of immigration.
Yep. I agree.
You agree
with that. I got a little clip that's pretty funny. Play that from 451, Clyde.
Okay, I'm going to have to cue this up. Just give me one moment.
Hey, why don't you cue that up, buddy?
1 second.
One moment. 451, you said?
Yeah, 451.
Okay. Let's get this up.
It's our friend Jesse Lee Peterson with Destiny.
This guy's amazing.
Amazing.
It's not my interest.
Go ahead.
You don't care that much about America?
I care about the people in America.
But do you care about America?
As a concept, not necessarily. Not more than the people inside of it.
Do you care about the country, America?
Not more than the people inside of it, no.
Amazing. I wanted to ask illegals that are coming here, they land they end up in the black communities first. Does it bother you that blacks are affected first and foremost by illegal aliens coming in?
I don't understand how Trump can say that black unemployment is the lowest it's ever has been, but somehow all these illegals are stealing jobs from black people. I don't know who I'm supposed to believe, you or Trump there.
Does it bother you that the blacks are being affected first?
He's like a bulldog.
I don't understand the question. Are you lying or is Trump lying to me? I don't understand.
Does it bother you that these illegal aliens are bringing in crime? They're running blacks out of their own communities. They're taking jobs from them. Does that bother you that the blacks are being affected in a negative way first and foremost?
Well, if illegals are running blacks out of their communities and the communities are ghettos, isn't that a good thing? Are they running them out to like middle class housing, or where are they going after?
Are you refusing to answer that question?
I mean, the question doesn't make sense.
Oh, snap. What?
What?
Destiny actually said that, and he's like, what? Do they go to freaking to like the new little magic unicorn and rainbow condo, or do they become?
because people displaced automatically go up in the rung of society. That's just how it works.
That's not how it works.
That's totally according to destiny.
What?
Jeez Louise. Yeah, they don't become homeless. They don't become destitute. They level up. Apparently.
What happens? You know what happens to people of a poor community when you add more poor people to it? Two things happen. They get poorer, and their quality of life goes down. That's what happens.
Is that the new thing? People are like, all right, there goes the neighborhood.
Gosh,
I'm laughing, but I'm dying inside.
Wall Street, here we come.
Let's keep going on this one until we come to the exciting conclusion.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense that.
Isn't that a good thing? Are they running them out to like middle housing, or where are they going after?
Are you refusing to answer that question?
I mean, the question doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense that, meaning that it doesn't bother you that blacks are being affected first and foremost?
All sorts of people are affected by all sorts of issues.
When you say it doesn't make sense, are you saying that it's okay that blacks are being affected in a negative way by illegal aliens?
If we really cared about how blacks are being affected, I don't think we'd be talking about illegal immigrants' impact on healthcare.
I'm asking you, a white liberal, does it bother you that blacks are affected first and foremost by illegal aliens?
I don't think blacks are the only people affected by illegal aliens.
I didn't ask you about others. I only asked about
blacks. I don't think blacks are affected that much by illegal aliens.
So you're not bothered?
I don't think it happens that much.
Are you bothered by it?
If it happened, I would be, yeah.
It is happening. Are you bothered by it? Amazing. Do you agree with me that there's no such thing as...
Okay, that's good. That's good.
It is happening. Are you bothered? Silence. Amazing.
We need a new GIF. We need that to be a GIF when people donate.
I need to get that soundbite. That amazing.
Yeah, no,
soundbite.
we need to have the amazing.
I'll cut it up for you.
We have Streamlabs donation. Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, Justice Square. I'm gonna do Justice Square. I'm gonna add it as a GIF for next show. That's hilarious.
I'd like you guys to know that the guy who did this video isn't political, really, and it's not Freedom Tunes. And here's the link to the channel since we used his little thing to comment.
For sure, for
sure. Yeah, there's his channel.
I want to go over and subscribe to him.
That's hilarious.
That's amazing.
The life of the odd hikikomori is the name. He does some pretty fun ones, but Jesse Lee Peterson doing Destiny was freaking hilarious, especially when he goes, "Are you a?" He starts calling him Beta. It's gold.
Yeah, get over there and subscribe to the life of the odd hikikomori.
Hikikomori.
Yeah, what a dude. The videos. I want to watch more of these now. I know what I'm doing after the stream.
Let's be on. It's like great, good animation combined with Jesse Lee Peterson. It's amazing. It's amazing.
That is amazing.
So next up, I want to remind you, everyone, that we are still doing the call-in show. So follow that Discord link that is linked below and also in the chat a little while back, and you can talk to Mr. Fox a lot, and he'll put you and take down your topic, and you can join the show. Next up is going to be the rightful king of shamans.
Yes.
What? That guy?
That guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Shaman King.
I hope
your best behavior.
I hope you're not going to disappoint me, Shaman King.
Right, we have high expectations of you, my dude.
Yes,
I'm hovering over your name with my pointer on the ban button.
If this story doesn't end up in something called an aneurysm, I'll be disappointed.
Fuck you guys. What's your story?
All right. I was actually meaning to share this last week, but I actually fell asleep, so it's a little old.
You snooze, you lose. Move on.
Yep. It's from a liquor.com. I recommend you grab a beer for this.
I got one.
The title. Yep. It's our fault too. How we beverage journalists can do more and better to implement social justice in the bar industry.
What?
They've already done that. That's why people don't go.
We don't need social justice in any industry to start off with. But how do they mean? Where are you going to? Are you going to incorporate some more Me Too, some intersectionality? We can only have, well, males, white men, they're privileged, so we need to give them less beers. Or we're going to charge them more to make things equal.
Everybody, make sure you tip your male waiter the same that you tip your female waitress.
Mm-hmm. What if their services in this is good? Do they have to do the same amount of work to be as good?
Dude, women make way more money in the service industry than men do. Men have to work way harder in the service industry.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what? I think you're right, Shaman King. Maybe in that one way. So now they have to tip men, and some has to track this. Of course, we'll have to have a government industry, bureaucracy to track how much you're tipping people. Right? First off. And then we'll have to make sure that all men are tipped exactly the same as women. Great job.
Now, that would work if you were applying, consistent thinking, but you already know what this is.
Yeah, it's garbage. Not fucking garbage.
Now, the first paragraph, and it's already some cancer. Right, quote, "It's an interesting time to be a booze writer in America. The world of adult beverages is expanding at a near exponential rate, taking cocktail culture from the urban fringes to the mainstream. At the same time, the bar industry and the world at large is in the midst of a social and cultural awakening.
No, we're not.
If by awakening in the same way that getting your arm cut off is losing weight.
Some people are getting awakenings, but they're also getting brokenings.
But
you know how you can tell that the whole intersectionality and social justice movement is a movement for the middle class and upper class white people who have never been oppressed in their lives is because they complain about things that they can actually that actually are involved with, like people who have cocktail parties, and so they'll see intersectionality and racism and oppression in their daily life if they're indoctrinated, right? So they see oppression in cocktails and in bars. That's not something that the average person cares about. Anyone who's actually oppressed isn't worried about intersectionality in their cocktail parties.
Where are the vag tails?
First paragraph still not done. Yeah, here's the cancer. For the first time ever, people on the inside of the drinking space, like myself, are talking about sexual misconduct, gender and race equality, addiction, and the state of mental health in the workforce, because that's so relevant to liquor, apparently.
So you drove them to drink, and now you want to bug them where they drink.
Yeah.
About right.
Fuckwits.
I'm just imagining the dude who got he got Me Too'd, lost his job, lost his family, he's all depressed. He goes to the bar to try to find some escape from reality, and then they follow him there.
They're chasing you, dire wolf. They're chasing you.
They literally will not stop at anything. But this next one is I want to juxtapose this quote with another one further in the article. Okay, quote: "Our duty is the same as any other journalist to report the truth." Now that's just funny, especially nowadays with journalists. But I tried to elevate.
The person's not a journalist, but moving on.
It's Ali Wonderman. I don't know who that. If that name is supposed to mean something, but
it's not very woke, or it'd be Wonder Woman.
Yeah. So such a sexist name you got there.
I tried to elevate POC-owned businesses and dig deeper to find sources outside the typical white, cisgender, and heterosexual male profile. The beverage industry.
How is that not sexist? We're trying to, promote and raise up businesses based on a racial identity. Yeah, that statement right there is racist. You're not going by, oh, this is a good bar, so I want to promote this bar because they have, good service or good products. No, I got to promote this bar because it's owned by someone who has the right skin color. You fucking racist.
Right, they're tan enough.
Hey, I got this investment idea, right? So we're going to open up this bar. It's going to be real swanky. We're going to have a nice doilies on the countertops and everything. We'll get a nice bartender. And, we'll be absolute... And then we'll be absolute douchebags to the to the patrons. We'll patronize them all the time. It'll be so successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this, but the color of the skin of the person serving you the alcohol doesn't change the taste or effectiveness of the alcohol.
Okay, there's also one like small instance of a whiskey bar that got shut down because the owner got accused of rape and sexual assault by multiple women. No word on if there was any convictions or not, but hashtag Me Too. Has to throw that.
Yeah. Is that what they're asking for? Oh, okay. We got too many white people owning bars that are successful, so we gotta stop that. So we gotta Me Too them so we can get them out of the industry. That's so woke.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but the quote I read earlier, I want to juxtapose that quote with this one. In the booze sphere specifically, we have the opportunity to publicly welcome folks into an industry that hasn't always been so welcoming to anyone who fell into the realm of other. So you other white men, in response to this, and this is a logically consistent position in your head. Okay then.
Jeez Louise.
Listen, if you want to have your racist bar, go for it. But I'm just gonna go where everybody wants to go.
Yeah. All I really have to say about this is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah. This is gonna go the same way of movies that are based on intersectionality. When you do anything with diversity and intersectionality in mind first, whatever thing you're doing, whatever endeavor you're going on, it's gonna suck because your first interest wasn't what that thing is. If you're making movies and your first focus is diversity and inclusion, well, you know what? Your primary focus wasn't telling a good story, wasn't making a good movie. If you're trying to make a bar and your primary focus is, you know what, we're gonna be super diverse and inclusive in this bar. You know what your focus wasn't? It wasn't providing a good environment for the bar and good quality product. So you're gonna fucking fail. Thank you very much, Shaman King. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Surprise, motherfucker!
Wait. Listen up. Why is this text-to-speech not working? What's going on? We got a Streamlabs donation from Timberwolf. Donated $10. Says, wonder what this person thinks of cum cocktails not. What? Thinks of the cum cocktails not.
I would have to look that up. I don't know what you're referring to there.
I don't know what that is.
Don't lie.
But thank you, Timberwolf. For
wait, what did you say? What did I miss?
Oh, you missed. Timberwolf donated $10. He says, wonder what this person thinks of the cum cocktails not.
Ew, what?
I didn't get it. Gross though.
Dirty.
Sounds pretty nasty.
You mean
cocktails? I found the part. I found the part that I wanted to read because this part is just like my head almost burst with irony. Okay, New Orleans-based writer, beverage consultant, and activist Ashton Berry stresses the importance of doing your research before speaking on these subjects. Quote, "It's really important not to dilute language," she says.
What?
Okay, Dylan Rush is
I'm
saying.
just like, oh my god.
Dylan Rush is saying that it got censored because of the cum word, so that's why it didn't go to text-to-speech.
Oh my god.
Quote, I regularly read articles in food and beverage publications where the writer clearly doesn't understand the context of a term, but has chosen to use it because it's on trend. That's really problematic and dilute language that was created to draw attention to certain issues. I can't even say it with a straight face.
The kings of diluting language, like claiming everything and everyone is a Nazi but they disagree with you. That's diluting language, taking away the power of a word by making it apply to everything you don't like. Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah.
This is absurd.
It's dumb. Like, I know so many drinks with dirty names, and that's what makes them fun.
Sex on the Beach.
You're so dirty, Dyer, with your fucking
That wasn't my drink order. That was my weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And then he gets fucking bombed on schnapps.
Like a young 20-something.
Snaps and OJ.
Oh, that's great. Okay, this is like the last second to last paragraph. One. It's almost done. Almost done.
Oh,
Quote: one of the most powerful things those of us with platforms can do is shut up and listen. Presented without comment. Says NYC Spirits writer.
Yes, I agree.
Dan.
You should totally shut up and listen, whoever wrote this article, because you clearly are not educated. I really hate how the people on the regressive left, they're constantly telling me, especially the intersectionality crowd, they're saying you need to respect our voice and let us be heard by shutting the fuck up and not letting your voice be heard. That's not sounding very equal to me. It sounds like you want to be authoritarian, that you think your rights supersede my rights. Not that you want the same rights as me. Not that you want to be treated the same or equally as me. No, you want to be treated a step higher than me. You want advantages instead of being treated as equal.
That sounds like a level playing field, doesn't it?
That sounds level.
We just need less people like taking these people seriously and more people just saying, hey, why don't you mind your fucking business?
We need more people pointing out, hey, you know what? You're a fucking racist. What you just said there, beyond being like next level retarded, also shows you are the bigot you're claiming you're opposed to. Good job. Fuck you.
Well done.
Oh, a round of applause.
And then it ends off with
There's
some
more?
With some emotional language. With some emotionally charged language.
Hey, Record King of Comments.
Well done.
The rest of the team would love to say thank you for coming. I would like to say fuck you, get out.
Here, give.
You get the hugs.
Why did we let him in?
Because
it's hilarious.
Clyde, put up my vision. Right, put up my visual response to the shaman and the SJW in the story.
I'm starting to suspect he's picking stories just to piss me off.
No.
There you go. Here's
Heaven
your receipt.
forbid.
You're a fadget.
That's your award, shaman.
Right on. Consolation
My
prize.
faith in humanity is...
No, but come back next week and have another go at Dyer.
And...
No. You just stay away. Why did our call screen let him in?
And we got another surprise, motherfucker. This is from Dave Youngston. He donated $2.65. That is the current exchange rate from the British pound for $2. £2 pounds is $2.65 currently. Thank you, Dave, for letting us know this. Gabby, can I give you a slow, comfortable screw against the wall?
Who said that?
Nah, that would have been Dave Youngston. I'm sure that's a drink name.
Yeah.
HR, put that in the long pile.
HR, put that in the big pile.
Yeah. We're gonna get sued.
That's a drink, a slow, comfortable screw against.
There's no pile now. I've gone digital. I've filled up a drive already.
Hey, you actually can reduce your HR complaints with this cool new thing that they've developed. It's called a shredder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles were trying to get rid of them for so long, and then we found out.
I thought that's what happened to our suggestions box.
He was misunderstood for so long. The Ninja Turtles were constantly trying to get rid of him. The police were treating him like a criminal. We decided to hire him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
So, someone needs to tell our call screener not to let in any fidgets.
Get out of here.
Yeah. You know what? Speaking of fidgets, let's go on to our next story because it's about Democrats.
Good. Yeah, there's a lot. Good
segue.
And yeah, thank you very much. It actually kind of ties into our first story and how we went down the rabbit hole. We have another Streamlabs from Slowpoke.
Yes, we do. We have a Streamlabs from Slowpoke for $2. He says, Dyer, Can I say this live?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's it say?
It says, Dyer, my D just died. Can I bury it in your A? I'm not saying that shit, dude.
I think he just wants you to say it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
Come on.
I do not.
There it is on the screen, Vince. Go for it.
Wait. Why do I got to be the gay?
You're the one who's so
insisting on it being said.
Hey, I'm trying to fight for Slowpoke's right to free expression.
Yeah,
And
not
you
through
can
me.
Say it. Give him a voice. Give him a voice.
No. All right. Anyways, on to our next story.
Jeez Louise.
Democrats decided that Juan is better than John. The House of Representatives has given a thumbs up to voting rights for illegal immigrants. Yay! Democrats voted overwhelmingly to approve voting rights for illegal immigrants in local elections. Although a federal statute officially bars illegals from voting in federal elections, it doesn't apply to municipal elections, and many of the same locales that have proclaimed themselves sanctuary cities are also promoting the voting of illegal aliens. For example, San Fran shithole allows illegals to participate in school board elections.
And I want to point out, even though it's currently barred federally, the politicians in California, of the state of California, they have suggested that they want to change that. Many Democrats, that is part of their platform, that they would love to open up voting to all citizens of America, whether they be legal or not. The Republican bigots attempted to introduce a motion to protect the voting rights of U.S. citizens, but were voted down 228 to 197 by the Democrats, who opposed the notion of U.S. citizenship. The notion that U.S. citizenship. Wow. The notion that U.S. citizenship should be given to anyone regardless of their nationality. That's ridiculous. What would prevent someone from, say, I don't know, the boogeyman of Russia just coming over to our country and voting in our elections? Would that be Russian collusion?
Right? I mean, we don't want foreign interference, but...
Yeah, so look how short-sighted this is. They're like, okay, to the Democrats, I think, well, we have non-nationals or illegal aliens voting on elections. They're thinking, South American immigrants. But they're not thinking, what's stopping several thousand Russians from coming across the Mexican border and then voting in an election and swaying a local election?
No, nothing. I mean,
it's illegal.
Yeah, well, especially if they come in and identify as an American female. Sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
White female.
I don't. Did I just assume their gender?
Yeah.
You did, you bigot.
Shucks.
Faggot.
We got a super chat from Ori Main saying, "Release the faggot."
I think, I think we've been threatened with a dislike from Mr. Agent 47 if I don't read that Slowpoke Garcia super chat. Damn it.
Yikes.
Dyer, my dick just died. Can I bury it in your ass?
I do not consent.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't consent.
There you go.
Thank you for that soundbite.
I don't. I don't want anything to do with that.
Well, now we have a soundbite of you professing your love to me, and then now you offer
Again.
Another one.
That one's being posted separately.
I don't care.
You never know when I might need it.
Did you finish with your portion?
I did.
Ah, good. God damn it. But at least we got a like out of it. Lewis's words.
Oh no, I did finish. Actually, there's more to it. I'm sorry.
Yes,
He lied.
We are professionals here.
So moving forward, the Democrats, the vote was about allowing more people to participate in the political process, even if they are in the country illegally. They said, "We are prepared to open up the political process to let all of the people come in," said Georgia Democrat Representative John Lewis, as he told the House.
Lewis's words reflected those of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who said this week, "So when we talk about newcomers, we have to recognize the constant reinvigoration of America, that we all have been, our families, And these newcomers make America more American. And we want them, when they come here, to be fully part of our system. And that means not suppressing the vote of our newcomers to America.
Republicans were aghast, and who can blame them? Texas Republican representative and actual hero Dan Crenshaw worded it this way: "What kind of government would cancel the vote of its own citizens to replace it with non-citizens?" And I'm guessing a government run by our current-day Democrats.
That's a good question, Dan. What sort of people would decide that the voting rights of their citizens were valueless unless they vote Democrat? The answer is painfully obvious. The Democratic Party is a group of power-hungry thugs who have no concern for the average American voter. They consider themselves better than you. They mock you. They restrict you. They ban you. And they're slowly trying to strip away your rights and shoulder you with the responsibility for taking care of their new voter base. These people need to be voted out of office next cycle. They need to be held accountable for their despicable actions. Otherwise, they're going to slowly take away each and every right you have as an American.
You know, I didn't realize how close these two stories were related until now.
It's good that you ordered them that way on accident, Dyer.
You probably ordered them this way, didn't you?
No, I really didn't. You did. It was just random, honestly.
That's funny.
The happiest of accidents.
All right, Slowpoke Garcia for another $2 says, Slowpoke Garcia, making the team seem gay at almost every single live stream. Mission accomplished. Also, thanks, Mr. Agent 47, for that threat.
Oh, it wasn't a threat. I just like likes on the channel, the video. So, what the hell?
I like dislikes.
Do you?
Yeah, because actually YouTube sees that as, oh wow, there's people who have opinions on both sides. This is maybe a contentious thing.
Nice.
I just think it views it as engagement. I don't think they really filter it through likes or dislikes. Like, as long as it has attention.
Yeah. What helps What helps the algorithm is comments, likes or dislikes, and shares. That's what's going to help the algorithm.
Yeah, just apparently I heard something along the lines of if it's all one-sided, it kind of gets seen as like, let's not give this as much attention. That's just what I heard.
And I just disliked our own video.
Well, hell. All that hard work for nothing. I guess I'll dislike it too. Fuck you, Dyer.
We're gonna get ratio.
Already did it.
All right. Any closing shots in the story?
Well, I mean, like you pointed out, it does have a lot to do with their agenda is kind of becoming more and more transparent as it goes along. You know, I mean, before a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's a conspiracy theory." You know, Republicans want illegals just as bad. That's not true. It's not true. It's just not. You know, they're showing their hand. They're exposing themselves now, and I think this next 2020 election for both the Congress and for the presidency is going to be a turning point in our country.
So I think that one of the arguments they say for saying that some Republicans want illegal immigration, I think they point to companies that hire low-skilled labor, right? And to some degree, this benefits them, but is also too much of a good thing in their mind. Right now, getting more low-skilled workers when there's already an extreme glut, it doesn't have a continued benefit. They've already reached the highest benefit it's going to have, right? Now they have social unrest as being the product of more illegal immigration. So I don't think that people have that. That's really an incentive that's really in play right now.
Yeah, Shipman Dame Post actually brings up a good point that I keep slipping up and calling them illegal immigrants. They're illegal aliens. Immigrants, that's a different thing. They're not immigrating here. They're it's an invasion, man. It really is. And it's being sponsored by the Democratic Party.
So invasion has some connotation to it. There's nonprofits that are organizing the mass movements of people. There are globalist movements, like what's that called? Borderless Society or like that. It's Open Societies Foundation. Yeah, the Open Societies Foundation is one example of a organization out of many that their goal is to bring immigrants illegally into our country. So that would be a more of like an invasion process. But the individual persons that are coming here, they're not like part of an army that's invading. They are people who are coming here for economic benefit that they think they're going to get when they get here. They're coming here with their own selfish reasons for coming here. I don't think that they're all like part of an invading army, though. I don't want to put the wrong connotation on it.
Well, look at the caravans coming in from Central America. Well, look at them storming the border. It really is kind of an invasion, though. There's that aspect. There's also some that are not in those groups. Not all illegal aliens? I'll hashtag it if you like.
No, they're all aliens. They're just, yeah.
Not,
you're saying hashtag no? Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different people coming into the country for different reasons. But regardless of their reason for coming here, they still need to come here legally, and they still need to enforce our border, regardless. Absolutely. I don't want to demonize the entire group as being all the globalist, conspiracy.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I wouldn't disagree with you.
So next caller, I'm kind of confused because Foxalot has taken the place of the call waiting room, and then we have someone sitting in the call-in room. So I'm gonna assume the call-in room is the person who wants in.
I think that's Boner. I think Boner's.
That's Arnold. You want to have sex? You want to have sex with Arnold, as he always says.
That's a Discord joke.
Okay, unless Foxalot wants to call in, which case,
I think Foxalot does want to call in.
Oh, okay.
Put an X in chat if you want to call in there, Mr. Foxalot.
And we'll wait until that happens.
Yeah, well, it'll only be like 10 seconds. Oh, he's in the channel already.
Ah, there he is.
There he is. What do you want? Foxalot. What do you want, you big gay fox? Crickets, dead air.
I don't think he's he can hear us yet. That's funny.
Ah, there we go.
There we are.
Push talk got re-enabled for some reason. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you just missed all that funny stuff I was just saying.
Ah, dang.
All right. I know. Yeah, Bonesy kicked me out of my spot. He's doing call-in screening now, so I decided to do a call-in.
Cool.
Help us all.
All right, so I don't know if anybody else heard, but yesterday the internet as we know it turned 30. And that's actually kind of a misnomer because the internet's actually a lot older than that. But what turned 30 yesterday was the HTTP protocol, which is how web pages as you know it are transferred. And so the HTTP protocol was invented by Sir Tim Berners-Lee, and he had a few things to say on it looking back over the last 30 years about what has happened to what he thought would have been this really beautiful internet.
Oh, God, what did I do?
It all went wrong.
Yeah, it was pretty much exactly that.
Wait. I thought Al Gore invented the internet.
Yeah, and that's a lie.
Yeah, he's taking credit for a lot of things, but yeah.
That's he invented a global warming hoax. He did do that.
That's true.
He even ripped that one off.
And that's on the internet too, so it's kind of the same thing, right?
Well, and as you know, Dyer, the global warming is not a problem when the entire planet is a gigantic ice ball. So it's not really a problem.
Actually, I think you'll disagree because if your entire planet is an ice ball and you're only inhabiting a tiny speck on it, then if it heats too much, that ice ball might melt. In which case, you might have a flat Earth.
That would be a problem. That would be problematic.
I thought you were gonna say something about tauntauns or something and getting a good night's sleep, but I don't know where the fuck you were going with that.
Okay, we're talking about a joke conspiracy about the world being. That they have the Gleason's map, which shows a flattened version of the Earth, and they're saying this is actually what the Earth looks like, and there's an ice wall around the outside. But then someone trolled them by saying, "Oh, yeah, you're right. There is an ice wall around this flat Earth." But then that ice wall widens out to being a gigantic planet sphere of ice.
Basically what happened, Clyde, is I've got an inside joke with Dyer that we just riffed off for about 60 seconds and ignored the rest of the stream. But we can probably get back to my story now.
Right.
Let's do it.
To that. Sorry.
So the three main issues that he has with his creation is One is deliberate malicious intent. He's very disappointed to see state-sponsored attacks and criminal activity happening on the internet using web pages, as well as online harassment, which you guys may or may not have something to say about that.
As opposed to face-to-face criminality and harassment.
Yeah. And then the second is,
even if they're online.
Yeah.
You know, and I've got a little bit written up about that after I go through the 3 points, but yeah, the expectation of the internet did not match what people do, so I'm not sure why they thought it was going to do that. But
this giant productivity boom across the planet is so not worth a little bit of harassment.
Yeah, and the effectiveness and speed of communication and the ability and the availability of information, that was not worth it.
Right, just throw it in the trash, start all over.
Yeah. Well, so the availability of information is one of the one of his other points. His second point is perverse incentives that reward clickbait and the viral spread of information, which you guys may also have something to say about that.
Well, I don't think is Twitter in HTTP.
Yeah, pretty much everything that you're interacting with is HTTP. Yeah. Like streaming video and stuff like that will pull from other protocols, but everything that you're viewing is being structured in HTTP.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well,
it is.
Yeah, it's like people do shitty stuff with good things. You know what I mean? Like the firearm was a great invention, and people do bad stuff with it. You know, Nobel made the Peace Prize because he was disappointed that they used dynamite, which was his invention, for warfare when he was trying to save lives in the mining industry, because they were using nitroglycerin and there was accidents, like tons of them all the time. So he was trying to save lives, and they used it to destroy lives, and that's why we have that prize.
So the third point that he had was it encourages the creation of polarized communities, outrage, and what he said, quote unquote, is low quality online discourse, which I think he might be talking about you guys. I'm not sure about that, but
so I mean, I think that the internet has allowed, you know, different echo chambers to garner more people in those groups, right?
You're the man now, dog.
I mean, you still had those echo chambers. They still had groups that were they were, you know, sticking their own and separating from the rest of society. They just weren't as big, and they were spread out, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, before that protocol, there still was NAMBLA. So I don't know.
Right. I mean, there were still, yeah, there were still militant groups, and there were radical groups before the internet. The internet has just allowed those militant groups around the country and around the world to join together.
Well,
exactly.
I mean, they did it through the mail before. Like I said, NAMBLA was like through the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't, you know, I think it's easy to kind of look back on it, you know, 30 years out and say, oh, well, you should have expected it to turn into this because, you know, humans. But, you know, when they first invented the internet, you know, it was the ARPANET first, which was the U.S. military, and then, you know, the first people to get online were universities, and they really imagined it to be a gigantic, quiet library that was, you know, quiet and professional. And in reality, it's more like the Breakfast Club librry. You know, you got parties. In reality,
it's kittens with machine guns riding unicorns.
Yeah, I believe completely. I think it's completely rational that they shouldn't have been able to foresee what the internet would have become, because they also couldn't have understood what the level of coding, you know, what was possible at that time when the internet was first created. They had no concept of that. But I don't think that they should be lamenting those downsides that exist, because the benefits far outweigh the negatives, and the negatives are no different than the negatives that already exist in any population of humans.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I do want to make one point very, very clear, though. Sir Tim Berners-Lee did not invent the internet. This is a British man who invented web page protocol, but he did not invent the internet. That is a U.S. invention, and England always tries to steal from us whenever they talk about him, and that's bullcrap.
And it was worth everything when I smell pork chop sandwiches. Seriously.
All right. So that's an interesting story. Thank you.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yeah, buddy.
Cheers, bud.
Appreciate
Catch you later.
Somebody's having a hard time reversing in someone's mic. I can,
Yeah,
I can hear those gears whine.
That is.
All right. We got a super chat from Ori Main saying Foxlot has sexy voice, not a sexy voice, just sexy voice.
The sexy voice.
You
Right.
sexy.
Capital S.
You sexy boy.
Okay, that just got weird. Let's keep moving.
Why get weird?
Why?
Because you said sexy boy.
We're just collecting
All
sound
weird.
bites right now.
I'm just
Thank
agreeing.
you.
I'm just agreeing. What the hell? You
All
guys are
right.
gay. You guys are gay.
Yeah, so
Well, Gabby, you want to handle this one, or you want to do another one?
the BuzzFeed in the case of the bombless bombshell.
Yeah, sure.
The mainstream media was abuzz with delight when BuzzFeed released a bombshell that alleged that the Mueller investigation had been told by Michael Cohen that he had been instructed by President Trump to lie to Congress.
Ooh, scandalous. Special counsel Robert Mueller's office issued a rare public statement disputing the accuracy of BuzzFeed's news report. Ooh, oof. That's got to be bad. The special counsel spokesman, Peter Carr, said BuzzFeed's description of specific statements to the special counsel's office and characterization of documents and testimony obtained by this office regarding Michael Cohen's congressional testimony are not accurate, meaning they reported fake news. And this is not coming from a pro-Trump source. This is coming from a source actively investigating Trump. So if the people who are running the anti-Trump witch hunt are saying that BuzzFeed is fake news, then they probably are.
Right, not accurate. It's just the most polite phrasing.
Right.
BuzzFeed decided to double down on their story, refusing to admit that their reporting was at best inaccurate and at worst completely fabricated.
Ooh, bold move there, BuzzFeed.
All of this should have been put to rest since Michael Cohen has come forward and testified to Congress again, this time stating explicitly that President Trump had never instructed him to lie to Congress directly, instead saying that he really got the feeling that Trump wanted him to do so, because apparently Trump has telepathy.
Apparently,
I just really got the feeling that I was told to do crimes. I mean, I wasn't told to do crimes, but he kind of had that look in the eye. Hey, would you commit crimes for me?
Your orders.
That voice in my head was telling me I should, and I attributed it to Trump because he probably put the voice in my head, right? That's rational.
He just had that twinkle in his eye.
Surprise,
that crime twinkle.
Right, that hint.
And Timberwolf
Hashtag
donates $2. He says, "Is it really gay if it's called Clyde's head? If it's all in Clyde's head? Sorry."
True. We're all figments of Clyde's imagination, so no.
I guess it wouldn't be gay because it's all just me.
Yeah, it's just you.
That'd just be indecent, though, wouldn't it?
It just means you're weird.
And your imaginary friends.
I'm just an odd guy.
It's not gay until you do something.
It means you're autosexual.
Oh, it's not automatic.
Wow.
You got to put some elbow grease into that.
What? Now we're talking about greasing stuff up. Now what the hell?
People
That's
who didn't
gay.
Joke autosexual means people were attracted to themselves.
I got the joke.
Well, some people might not have.
Well, thanks for explaining it to us, Dyer. We appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. So imagine how the hubris on the BuzzFeed representatives saying, they said, oh, these guys over here, they have evidence. And then the guys are claiming to have evidence say, no, we don't have evidence. What you said is wrong. And like, no, they still have evidence. No, the person you cited as your source told you, no, you're wrong about what you cited them for. That's not how it works.
Ori Main donates $2 on stream. Sorry, not on Streamlabs, on Super Chats. Says, I like this stream. Winky face. And Johnny Hellcat are also with a super berry for $2. He says, "It's not gay, it's masturbation."
All right.
I don't know why it's separated. It was like 2 words, master. And the other part.
Okay, well, one would expect BuzzFeed to do one of 2 things at this point: admit that their story was false, or ignore the entire thing and wait for it to go away. Nope. They are standing behind their poor reporting and 2 unnamed sources, tripling down on the false story. This time, BuzzFeed's editor-in-chief decided to dispute it on Tucker Carlson's show. Seems like an unwise course of action to me, but let's take a look.
Can I tell the story to your audience here that we're talking about? This is the story at the heart of this whole thing.
I want to get to.
You spent a lot of time talking about cats. Can I just talk for 2 minutes about the Trump Tower?
But I want to get to the specific claim that I made in my open, which I know you're going to want to respond to. That here you have Cohen and the Mueller investigation both debunking the so-called bombshell that you ran in January. And you're refusing to admit it has been debunked. When I just played 2 pieces of tape, Michael Cohen saying essentially what BuzzFeed said is not true, but you're claiming it is still true. On what grounds?
I mean, if this was my show, I would have extended both of those clips a little longer. The first to show Michael Cohen saying, in his way, he was telling me to lie, which I just don't think there's a lot of dispute now that Cohen is saying that he claims, you could say he was lying, you don't have to believe Michael Cohen, he claims, he believes Trump was telling him to lie. Now, when this first went out, you guys were calling it a hoax. You were saying the central thesis was wrong.
That's not what your piece said. Your
piece said he was directed to lie.
He personally instructed him. He explicitly told him to lie.
Personally instructed him. Cohen described a meeting in person
you said he
between the people.
Told him
to lie. Let me take them one at a time. Okay. Cohen described a personal meeting with Jay Sekulow and Trump, in which, in discussing his testimony, and this is something where everyone is chasing to get more detail of this, and it's a little hard for us to argue about it in the absence of like a transcript of the meeting. This isn't Nixon. We don't have audio. The things that Trump said that you said before were no Russia, no deal. I mean, if that is in the context of his testimony, that is certainly personal. They're talking to each other about his testimony. Is it explicit? I think that's a reasonable argument reasonable people can have. But the idea that this has been debunked, this is a hoax. I mean, the whole story has moved to a place where we're having a much narrower dispute here, Tucker. By the way, about a story that is not about collusion, about a story that is about lying about an amazing real estate deal in Moscow.
Look, I want to say, just once again, to be totally clear.
That's good enough, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the BuzzFeed editor-in-chief.
Standing behind crappy reporting.
Yeah, I mean, feeling like someone wants you to lie isn't the same as being directed to lie. There's a difference there. I shouldn't have to point that out.
My boss doesn't feel like, or like, give me a twinkle in his eye. Can you, and infer, can you get all that work done today? He tells me. He straight up says, like, hey, I got a lot of work for you to do. Can you get it all done? And then I try my best. I don't, without that direction, some people wouldn't get any work done.
Right, it's a job, not a relationship.
Right. This is a lot like a serial killer using the voices in my head told me to kill all those people kind of defense here.
Yeah. Like, oh, man. I'm just picturing my work day. I show up and I'm like, hey, you got anything for me? And he's just like, wink, wink, wink.
Hey,
what does that mean, dude? Give me a work order.
To his credit, I wish it worked that way. That way I could just walk in and then all my troops would just do their job without being told. That'd be great.
Yes, sir. Like, I didn't say anything. We know.
But they could do whatever they wanted, just saying, well, I thought they meant this.
Dyer walks into his work center with a big throbbing cranium, freaking mentally commanding his troops to do his bidding. I can just see it.
Yeah.
He telepathies so hard he's bald.
My cranium's like twice the normal size.
big throbbing vein in the forehead.
Throbbing something is for you.
Anyways,
it evolves so fast these days.
Move on.
Yeah. BuzzFeed was the original news source to report on the 2017 Steele dossier. The report, which was authored by former British spy Christopher Steele, alleges that the Trump campaign and Russian government conspired with one another during the run-up to the 2016 presidential election. Since then, many details in the dossier have been proven false. Imagine my shark.
No, not only that, but the dossier was proven to have been written for something else entirely. Like, it predated even Trump announcing his run for the presidency.
It was opposition research. It was not meant as an intelligence report.
No.
It was
okay, you'll have to. I'm gonna have to search this up, but I was reading somewhere that they found a dossier by the same company that from the Steele dossier, or from Steele or whatever, the same firm had written something else like a number of years before that was the same damn story, and then they just changed it to Trump.
That would be funny. So Christopher Steele, we're going off of his sources, just off his word, because he referenced a bunch of Russian agents that are, we don't know who they are, right? So they're his contacts. So it's very possible, but I wouldn't be able to confirm now that he just bullshitted it. But obviously the result was
I mean, if nothing's proven, we can say it's bullshit.
No, yeah, definitely. But I can say that the contents of it were bullshit, because the only difference is, was Christopher Steele a liar, or were his agents he was sourcing liars? That's the only difference there, right? Because the actual content of the report was bullshit. We were able to go back and look at dates and people and locations and see, that didn't actually happen. This is a lie. So that calls into question the entirety of the report, because we can prove a large portion of it to actually not have happened. So to make that report worse, not only is it, opposition research that was funded by Trump's political rivals, both Hillary and very early on some anti-Trumpers, but it was not. It was mostly funded by Hillary. It was sourced from foreign nationals, possibly even Russians, or just Christopher Steele, who is from an ex-MI5 agent. So foreign nationals running a hit piece, opposition research, on a candidate that was then repackaged and sold by the FBI agents as in an intelligence report, when it never went through the rigors required for actual intelligence. It is, the whole thing is so corrupt that it dirties the hands of the FBI agents, and definitely the corruption on Fusion GPS and Hillary Clinton. The fact that no one has been arrested for this is insane.
Yep.
Yarp, yarp, yarp.
Yeah, it's a bunch of malarkeys. Pile of shit.
I mean, just starting off with FBI agents, false statements. They falsely represented what this report was.
Just the fact that people cite it still. They're like, oh yeah, the Steele dossier. Stop calling it a freaking dossier. That's French for folder. Just call it a file. Jesus, stop being all prestigious.
What's the French word for computer again, Clyde?
It's an ordinator. Except they say it with a dumb accent. It's an ordinateur. It's an ordinator. Wow. Like, you can't just say a computer. You gotta say
de caca. I don't know.
I just call it potato.
Oh my
it's
God.
pronounced dossier. Dossier. Dossier.
So I think the punchline here, the moral of the story, the takeaway from this story is that BuzzFeed has been caught so many times publishing obviously fake news with no sourcing, just false sourcing. How does anyone in the mainstream media take them serious anymore? We have networks like CNN, MSNBC, and ABC referencing BuzzFeed as a source. Does that not reflect poorly on their credibility too?
It does.
They're worse than a tabloid. Bat Boy had more credibility than the dossier.
Hey,
my God.
hey, don't slander Bat Boy that way.
Yeah.
I said he had credibility in
Didn't do
comparison.
nothing.
No, Bat Boy slanders himself when he goes to anti-Trump rallies. We saw that earlier.
That was my rant. I'm done.
Hey, why don't you finish the rest of the story there, buddy?
All right. Okay. So BuzzFeed has become the poster boy for mainstream media being referred to as fake news. Yep. They really need to stick to they really need to stick to top 10 anime betrayal lists, or perhaps 24 reasons Stephen Carl is number 2 articles.
If BuzzFeed was going to be a poster boy of any sorts, it would be a big poster that says "Learn to code."
Yeah, absolutely. I think they should definitely be investing in some education in coding.
we got a super berry from Slopo Garcia for $2. He says, "I take offense to the Bat Boy slander."
Yeah.
So does Bat Boy.
And also,
And we apologize.
just to explain that Stephen Carl comment, that was a poop joke.
Oh, well, I'm glad we're classy on this channel.
Right?
Pinkies up.
That's right. Let me put on my fedora.
We're all
That's
having
adorable.
we're all having cocktails while we're doing the stream.
Wow.
Wow.
I think Slim Randy is in the Discord waiting to talk to us.
But, I'm pretty sure that
Slim Rindy, rather.
yeah, he's next. Come on in, Slim Rindy.
Come on down. You're the next contestant on the Who's Gonna Talk on This Show.
Very much likely to push the talk on.
Oh yeah, mute the stream, please.
Yeah, echoes are bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that better?
You don't have a headphones or something on. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I don't have headphones on. Do you want me to put those on?
Yeah, that would be nice, because we're hearing ourselves back
Pretty
through.
please.
Pretty please.
1 second.
Well, we'll give him a second here, and meanwhile, to pass a little time, Dyer will tell us a little story. Tell us a story, Dyer.
All right. If I had the ability to tell my troops what to do with my brain, that'd be great, because there's one instance where I was deployed and I was walking from across the compound from one building to another, and it was a bit of a walk. And my guys were at work and they received a phone call from leadership asking, where Sergeant Wolf was out, and they wanted to ask a question. Instead of just getting the question and answering it themselves, they waited for me to arrive. Almost an hour later. I was on an errand, right? Get back, and my boss is like, "Where the hell have you been? Your guys don't know where you're at." And then what pissed me off was I told them, "Hey, I'm gone for an hour. I'm going here, and I'll be right back." And so they did know where I was at. And second, the question was something that they just looked up at a piece of paper next to the phone. The information, the answer to the question was on that piece of paper. If they could just provide that person the answer, and there'd be no problem. Why do they got to wait for me?
While we're waiting for Slim Randy, I think it looks like he left the chat room. Maybe he's trying to square away his thing. Clyde, bring up a little that little link that I put in for Twitter. We'll talk about this story for a second. This is pretty funny. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Clyde is number one.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, rapper briefly identifies as female, smashes female deadlifting record, and goes back to identifying as male.
Really?
That was a funny story. He was just trying to prove a point that, just saying that you're female doesn't make you, on the same level as females.
Yeah, but he did it.
Clearly.
And he's feeling manly again, apparently, after
he holds the record now for women's deadlift. It's amazing. Amazing.
But I thought that was pretty amusing, and well done, British rapper.
I agree. What do you think, Slim Rindy?
Every guy.
I would agree.
Every guy at the gym from now on is gonna say every time they see him, they'll be like, dude, seriously, take a shower. I can smell your vagina from here.
Yee.
He's gonna get that for the rest of his life. You know that, right?
Right. This is where social conditioning comes in. Like, no gentleman's gonna respect you for that choice.
No. You're just gonna get slagged. It's gonna hurt.
Okay, he's got his headphones on now, guys. What do you have to say, Mr. Rindy?
So this is something that I was thinking about in the most recent election cycle, and the Gallup poll from October of last year kind of speaks to that too. The poll I'm reading here says majority in U.S. still say a third party is needed. 57% of Americans say a third major political party is needed. I guess I wondered what your guys' opinions is on that topic. If you think more funding is needed, or what would be required to get a third party more clout in an election cycle?
I kind of feel that Trump represents that trend already, because he does not, he wasn't part of the Republican establishment. He doesn't have the record or really even the policies of a Republican. He kind of is just using that label. And he said it himself when he said before he ran, he said, if I were to run, because he's been a lifelong Democrat, he'd run as a Republican because that's the way he'd be able to win. But I think he represents more of the center of America rather than the establishment of the Republicans. So I think we kind of have the Republican Party itself is losing power and is being taken over. So it might not be a third party, but they're being replaced.
Yeah, it's definitely more like an invasion of the body snatchers for political parties. It's like with Trump and people like Dan Crenshaw and people like that. They're not rhinos anymore, because the Republican Party, the true conservatives, really are few and far between, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Well, I think the wheel's already in motion, and same thing with disenfranchised Democrats who are moderates or centrists, and they're just like, what are y'all doing for the last few years, the far leftists?
Yeah.
The problem with the third party is this. It's going to leech voters away from one party or the other, because right now the Democrats have gone so far left. Republicans are wanting to push right. If you put a third party in there, they're going to leech voters away from the center. Could a third party win? I don't think so. Not right now. Not
you use Canada as an example. Seriously, use Canada as an example. When the NDP came in, they're pro-union, pro that stuff. They're pretty much socialists, but the union guys all vote for them, and they always just kind of take votes away depending on what the issues are at the time. And then there was cases where the Bloc Québécois came in. They took votes away from other parties. And then it was the Rose Party in Alberta. They took votes away from the Conservatives, and then the NDP ended up getting in, and now the economy's garbage. It doesn't do you any favors in the long run if you're just breaking up parties, because that's all it really is, right? You start another new party. And it's say they did it with the Conservatives. You'd be taking the Republican Party, and then say you did a neocon party. They'd just be taking votes away from the Republicans and guarantee that the Democrats are going to get in, sort of thing.
So right now, it is not the political infrastructure of the two parties right now. It's kind of guaranteed that for now, we're going to only have those two parties. The infrastructure does not exist for a third party. There's a lot to the money and leadership and structure of a party, and it's hard to assemble without a lot of resources. But what can eventually lead to that? So right now, a third party is not going to happen, but a third party could happen, and this is how that would happen. Is first you'd have to start at lower level elections. You'd have to start having independent candidates winning at smaller offices in states. And once you have enough states that have representatives that are that third party or are independent, then with that much support and that much infrastructure of their individual campaigns, could you form a third party? That's a long way away from what we have now.
Yeah, look at the Green Party in Canada. They've been at it for 50 years, and they've got one seat finally in Parliament.
Right. Mm-hmm. So
And they're commies.
It's not impossible. It's just not possible now.
Yeah, the political climate's not really fertile enough for a third party at the moment.
Do you
just
think
look at
if
Rand Paul's dad?
I'm sorry, I didn't
how
mean to
long
cut
did
you off.
He kept running over and over again, and
I was going to say,
didn't
do
get
you
him very
think it would
far
make a
in it.
difference if the U.S. were to ever convert to like non-partisan politics?
Define that.
Yeah,
we need to define that term.
That's pretty broad.
Well, like eliminating the party system altogether, like going based upon a candidate versus their party.
That'd be great. That's great. That'd be great. But what would end up happening is everybody be making backroom deals, and you wouldn't know who the hell to vote for.
Well, and okay, so look at any like mayoral race where you've got like, 10 people running, and you're a busy dude, and you got a lot of shit going on in your life, and these people come up to you and they're like, vote for me. Here's my leaflet, and the leaflet doesn't give a platform. Leaflet goes, I'm good for jobs and I'm good for that, and you're like, well, fuck. I got to go way out of my way to know what sort of platform you're running. It's when you have party affiliation that you can actually get a gist of what a lot of these lower candidates are for. And I think there's a benefit to having a party system.
Strength in numbers.
Yeah. So like it's more about just having your information out there and available. I know it's the days of the internet, but we just had a mayoral run where I live. I had no freaking clue.
So also the party system is something that's also naturally sustained, because people are going to try to join together and make coalitions to get their policy passed. So they want to be a part of a group where they can work together towards that goal. And then they also, people who are in the lower rung of politics are going to want to associate to a group because it results in funding and support and information and legal support. I mean, it's something that is naturally supported by the individual interest of the politicians. It might seem backwards to us because we're like, well, I don't want to vote for a party. I want to vote for a person. But for them, the people who are actually forming these political parties, it benefits them. So that's why it's going to be – we're going to always have parties. We don't have to have two. We're going to always have parties because it's them, those politicians operating under their own self-interest.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help but laugh there. Mr. Foxlot in the chat said, Canada electing people? Lol, that's cute.
I thought you were laughing at my point. I'm like, what was funny about it?
I'd like.
But I want to get to this point. So, Mr. Agent 47 says mayoral elections are still on party systems, and I said I realize that, but there will be others. And he said, would you elaborate? And I said, so here's what I'm saying. So yeah, there will be people with party affiliation, but there'll be a lot of other people who have maybe no party affiliation. I'm just talking about local elections and stuff. But because they're not party affiliated and you get a leaflet that just says I'm for jobs. Well, Democrats say that, but look at their policies and look at their record. You know what I mean? Like, so. Just some rando who's like, vote for me. I don't have a party. I'm an independent. Unless you really know their platform or you spend a lot of time going to like town halls and stuff like that, you're really not going to realize what they're after. And I think a lot of people are going to default to the party platform by going, well, at least I know what they stand for as a party. And then we can hold their feet to the fire if I'm a member of that party and they're a local representative kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
So what you could do is, if you want to have this hypothetical third party, let's say you start with California, and they have a bunch of people in school boards and local city councils that are this third independent party. They all agree with each other, but they all start off independent. They have their own campaigns, their own teams. Some of them have teams of 10 or more people that do things like get out the vote, do their legal services, operate their accounting. And then if they had say 20 people in one state that all are that party, and they're like, okay, we can all get together, combine our campaign's efforts into one campaign, and then we'll try to get someone elected to the next higher level of the government. So try to get some people in Congress. So then they join together. They're joining the resources together. They pick a name. So they have an affiliation, and then they elect someone to Congress or several people to Congress. And eventually they get some mayors. And now you have a third party that's become popular in one state. It can catch on and they can use their resources to get support in other states. And they will try to elect other like-minded people. And that would take a really long time, like many election cycles, for that to become an actual viable force that could compete with the existing parties. But that's how a party itself is born and grows. It's just people working together and putting their efforts together.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of how much you want to put into it, right? So how much effort would it be for us to maybe take the Republican platform, put ourselves in there, and start debating with other Republicans and maybe tell the evangelicals, maybe you should chill out on the whole, like, a gay marriage thing, and, you know, like different platform things. Because I think for the most part, people who are conservative minded these days don't give a shit about gay people and what they're doing.
Agreed.
You know, it's just like, do your thing.
A lot more libertarian.
Right. So like that used to be a big part of the Republican platform. We'll never allow gay marriage. It's like, I don't care. I don't care. There's more pressing issues today. You know, and I think with enough of us on board, we're able to change what the party's platform is. And I think that's more. I think that's more effective than trying to start a new party altogether. I mean, look at on the left; they want to change the party. They're all fucking commies. The new people that are moving in. It's crazy.
Clyde's completely right. Clyde's completely right. The way political change is going to happen in the immediate is both parties can be superseded by us changing their platform by changing who we vote for, but staying under the name of those under those parties. So the Democrats have obviously changed their platform drastically in the last 20 years. It's because they've been pushed by their voters and some ideologues to one direction. And then we've also changed the Republican Party. Its platform has changed drastically. So it's not that we need to replace the party. We're going to change what the party stands for.
That's why I think it's funny they call it a populist movement. What's going on in the Republican Party right now? No, just Republicans have gone more to what everybody wants, whereas the Democrats have gone fucking out to lunch, dude. Fucking out to lunch, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing for the Republicans anyway, because now you're gonna have more people who are agreeable, rather than taking hard stances on fucking insignificant things like I said, gay marriage. Fucking who cares? Why is that a cornerstone to your party? That shouldn't be.
All right. Well, that's a great topic. You have anything you want to add, Slim Randy?
I guess something that I've thought about too, at least in my area, there's been a recent interest in the Libertarian Party. And one thing that I question the most, if you just read on their websites, a lot of their values, they are very against taxation, but they don't really give their solution for, like, if there's an elimination of taxes, what's the solution if that doesn't exist? Because there has to be revenue coming from somewhere.
Wait, who's saying elimination of taxes? Are you saying the Libertarians?
Yeah, Libertarians historically, at least from what I've seen, have always viewed, or maybe this is more of like extremist libertarian, where they're saying taxation is a form of theft, and they're against taxation, but they don't really provide.
So like the Murray Rothbard camp. So, like, you see, yeah, I know the anarcho-capitalist movement has been huge, and what they've done is like, it's like a big thought experiment, I think, on their end, and it's worth a read. Like, I'd recommend anyone read through Murray Rothbard and a lot of the authors from that side of things. But at the same time, if you're going to organize society in today and the way things work, you can't just go, oh yeah, we're going to have no tax revenue and we're still going to, like, everyone still relies on all these services and all that stuff. It's just it doesn't make any sense. Not in the immediate.
For you to not have taxes, you would essentially not have a government, and there is a trade-off for not having a government. And the biggest thing in that is, no matter what kind of government you believe in, you're going to be losing in the ability, the services that the government provides would not be provided otherwise, namely your joint defense, right? in trade. So I think that at the core of their argument is they're anti-government and in any form. And I am a small government person. I believe that there is a purpose, and it's the reason why our societies can be as prosperous as they are, because we have the synergy provided by government. Now, government is a lot of things it shouldn't do, and it's currently doing, that is a detriment to society, and that needs to stop. But there's a lot of things that the government does do well, and that's for one example being the military.
Yeah, see, I think that a lot of people are confusing with like what Rothbard wrote as like we should do this now, when in fact a lot of people in that camp, like the intellectuals anyway, were saying like let's go towards that, and in the pursuit of going towards that, it just means like let's go through attrition and reduce a lot of spending in a lot of ways and shrink the government down to as small a thing as possible. But I mean, yeah, they want everything to be voluntary. So, you know, when it comes down to even just like neighborhoods, you have to have a volunteer firefighter force and all that stuff. Whereas most times it's just contractual through your community, and then it ends up being some sort of like taxation, whether it's like property tax or whatever, and it's to avoid people like not paying into it that would just likely live, you know. the whole argument is that there's an innate human nature to want to just live off of what everyone else is dishing out, right? And the argument from a minarchist would be, yeah, I know we don't want the big government, but we do need people to pay into the certain things, like if you're gonna have, you know, local roads and, you know, things like that.
So closing shot for me before we end on the topic, because we kind of are been on it for a while, would be we have a question from Foxlot saying, Direwolf, you said yourself how corrupt the money in the military money is in the military, how much how much stuff costs. Yes, so I would say that the driving cost behind what waste, fraud, and abuse in the military is actually caused by the government, by bureaucracy and the overreach of government. They have tied the hands of the military. So for one example would be, you can only buy this one product that's made by many different companies, but you can only buy it from this one company, and you can only buy it with this really high price. Now that is a agreement made by a politician, usually to benefit his state or benefit someone in his family or himself in some way. It is a political decision, not a military decision. It is not made for economic reasons, because the standard is, if you give the military a budget and say, do your mission with this much money, they will intentionally spend the money as best they can to be able to get the most out of it. But if you require them, you have to spend this much money on this particular product, and it's not the cheapest version of that product, well, you're tying their hands, and it's going to be a lot more wasted fraud and abuse that way.
And to tell you the truth, Eisenhower kind of warned us beforehand with his farewell address and the whole military-industrial complex. That's exactly what he was warning against. You know what I mean? So. But the government,
so the military isn't the only one that suffers from these problems, right?
Yep.
And here's the deal: like when you get a budget from Congress, and you say, "Okay, I got this whole budget." If you go under, then the next time you go for your budget hearing, they'll say, "Well, you didn't spend it all, so you didn't need it all, even though you had a surplus. So we're only going to give you what you spent last time." So what that incentivizes is that you spend every fucking penny, so that you can ask for more next time, right? And then it ends up just being a wash in just like crap. That's why you hear all these stories about like, oh, the Department of Transportation spent $500 on per chair on like 500 chairs that are just going to get thrown out in 2 years, and nobody sits in them. Just sitting up in an office. That's why you hear about this crap.
Yeah. Absolutely true. And you know what they should do is one small part of a bigger policy would be when you give a commander a budget and he goes below it, you shouldn't cut the budget for the next year. It should be a bullet point for his career saying you've done an achievement. He was able to provide the mission below expectations by this much money. That should be awarded and not punished.
Yeah, and then put it into some other coffer. You know, it's stupid. The whole system's stupid. And I think that and here's where the anarcho-capitalists do get it right, is government lacks a price mechanism. They're just like, whatever, we got money and we'll just pay whatever. So without a price mechanism, there's no market involved. And there's nobody negotiating. It's just like by decree. And yeah, it's just crap. It's crap. It's wasteful. It's inefficient. And if somebody else has a better idea, like, I'm all ears, right? But I've heard the anarcho-capitalist thing, and most times you talk to somebody, you just get talking points. You're not having a discussion. If anyone wants to have a discussion, I'm all ears.
Yeah, well, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for dropping by.
Thank you.
Thank you, Slim.
Buddy.
I put that clip of Eisenhower talking about the military-industrial complex. He was really kind of a prophetic. He spent a lot of his political capital for it on his farewell address. It was pretty amazing.
Foxlot said we should stop giving out tax credits. We will have all the money we need.
Hey, we could spend that. We could spend those tax credits on our subways and our
right.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Well, the economic rule is, like, if you subsidize anything, you get more of it, right? So, I mean, you subsidize corn, you get tons of corn. Subsidize poverty, you get lots of that.
Yeah. Subsidize jobs, you get more jabs.
Get more jabs. Well, yeah. Well, that's it. Like, cutting taxes is a jobs subsidy.
Yes. Yeah. I wasn't joking.
Yeah. I mean, you got to word it in a way that it follows. But yeah, that is subsidizing jobs by lowering taxes. So yeah, you subsidize anything, you get more of it. Did you want me to play that clip?
Yeah, sure. It's only like 2 minutes. Might as well.
Sure.
A little bit of history lesson.
Wow. Back in the day, focus sucked.
The President of the United States. Good evening, my fellow Americans. We now stand 10 years past the midpoint of a century that has witnessed 4 major wars among great nations. Until the latest of our world conflicts, the United States had no armaments industry. American makers of plowshares could, with time and as required, make swords as well. But we can no longer risk emergency improvisation of national defense. We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Added to this, 3.5 million men and women are directly engaged in the defense establishment. Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. The total influence, economic, political, even spiritual, is felt in every city, every state house, every office of the federal government. We recognize the imperative need for this development, yet we must not fail to comprehend its grave implications. Our toil, resources, and livelihood are all involved. So is the very structure of our society. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals, so that security and liberty may prosper together.
Wow, that's profound, man.
Yeah.
So I want to point out that the military leaders and from top to bottom seem very much interested in their policies and what they encourage us to do in saving money and to the best of their abilities. But we are hampered by civilian leadership that have created policies that do not allow us to actually reduce cost.
Well, shithead politicians trying to make a quick buck off of military contracts.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got this widget, a nut, a washer, a bolt, and my cousin does that business. Hey, why don't you buy it off my cousin? I know they're $3 a piece when you can get them for 3 cents a piece, but hey.
But I'd also like to point out that this wasn't just President Eisenhower. This was the supreme leader of Allied forces during World War II, Eisenhower. 5-star general Eisenhower. He knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah, he did.
You know, so I think a lot of what he said has come to pass, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So,
I know when I'm buying $40 washers that I'm definitely enriching somebody's pockets.
Fucked, man.
I went up to my my 06 and complained to my 06 about the washers. That's as far as I took it. And he's like, he was the last one to say, Sergeant, there's nothing we can do. It's a congressional decision. We can't buy from anyone else.
Oh, we got gray apathy with the Streamlabs. Surprise,
Actually, we got 2. I forgot to read the last one. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Michael Bean donated $2. He said, so if Direwolf Media is all in your head, then you identify as Dyer, Vincent, Gabby, and Bone all at the same time.
Yep.
You're altering the very reality of identification. Mind blown. Clyde,
He's a
bless your heart.
What can we say?
Clyde,
how much was that for?
It's $2. But he continues. Clyde, bless your heart. We love you just in the way you aren't.
Oh, they love all 4 of us.
Yes. Oh. And Gray Apathy donated $2. He says, so if you subsidize Direwolf Media's hosts, apparently you get more of them. Okay, that's good.
No.
Wait, it's not done. It's not done. Why it seems you're giving Clyde too much power. Soon he will identify as his own audience.
Oh, you weren't supposed to tell them that.
I'm just doing this to entertain the masses of me.
Yeah, I'd also like to point out, he's first Mr. Foxlot says, wait, Bonitis isn't real either? No, Bonitis is real. He's just actually a sentient pair of hands.
Not to be confused with the invisible hand.
And then he also says we're also hampered by the ridiculous intelligence complex, sucking up billions and crapping them out back on the Bill of Rights.
God,
but actually, the intelligence complex, that's development is kind of an offshoot of the military-industrial complex as we become more and more dependent on digital media and communication methods. Foxlot, you are not real. You are you are a perverted aspect of Clyde's deranged little mind.
Yeah, Mr. Shiny Pants says we should subsidize my beard.
Yeah, well, what else? What did that super chat say?
You get more of it. No, that was the end of it.
Yeah, but we had another one.
Super chat. Oh no, I read both. Oh,
you did. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. All right. Well,
and I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to do this. I'll be right back.
Right as we're about to end the show.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, it's been 2 hours. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I can hold it for that.
You guys realize we didn't even get to the 4th story?
Crush your dainty little anime thighs there, Clyde.
You know what? Think about this, everybody in the audience. When I go for a pee, they're still talking.
Mind blown.
Right, he's actually Jeff Dunham. We're all his puppets.
We only did 3 stories today.
We didn't even get to the fourth story. No.
Jeez,
No.
we suck.
Yeah,
No.
that means less writing for
Saturday.
Saturday, nice. Everybody
You realize
gets a
that
break.
Everything we wrote today did not actually get in the show.
Did we not bring Arnold in?
Oh, is
No,
he
we
coming
didn't.
in? Oh, he's not coming in.
Oh, he's not coming in. Okay.
No, he doesn't want to come in.
Okay.
He's shy.
Yeah, not on VR chat. Oh my god.
damn.
Oh my god.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. For those who called in, for those who donated, thank you very much. We have enough to raffle off one of the digital copies. So I'm not sure if you guys want a digital copy. If you don't, so let's let the audience decide. One for wait till tomorrow, till next show, and do a physical copy, or 2 for raffle off the digital copy of Dreamkeepers, whatever volume you want. So wait 10 minutes for people to actually get that message, but you can do.
Hey, it'll be a second one. He's already got a 1 in.
If I could still gamble, I'd say wait for the physical copy. To be honest.
Yeah, those. I saw the physical copies, and they're beautiful.
They're beautiful.
They are
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Whoa, another surprise, motherfucker.
Clyde made it the
for
whole
surprise,
stream. His
motherfucker.
bladder must be expanding.
Did you hear that?
No, I just.
Oh, that was Timberwolf donated $10. He said Clyde made it the whole stream. His bladder must be expanding.
Yes.
Or I'm getting better at hiding my pee breaks.
Clyde is evolving into his final form.
Oh my
yes,
God.
he now has the bladder of a 10-year-old girl.
This isn't even his final form yet.
Yeah, that'll give me a chance to actually finish, Dave. I worked on it a little bit today and yesterday. Ask Gabby; she'll be my witness.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What? I told you I was going to... No, damn it.
Anyway,
okay, so we don't. So that means we got mostly votes for physical copy next show. So thank you, everyone. We'll do the same names. Everyone's names are recorded. They will have the same chances, same tickets for next show. So thank you for everyone coming. We'll see you on Saturday. Direwolf out.
Good. I'm not gonna piss my pants now.
And her head went round and round.